G'day and welcome back to Torment Tides of Numenera. We finally have the ability to go and find Matkina. This has taken way longer than we had any reason to expect. We talked to the map maker, so I guess now it's a matter of talking to the Stitches. Unfortunately, I then promptly had a 6-week hiatus from recording, so it's difficult to remember where on earth we need to go. Cave of the Last Words. That's right, that's where we need to go. So, it's just taken me far too long to actually get anywhere with this. And, who are you? The woman's skin is white, the color of alabaster or fresh ivory. Flat black eyes surrounded by sharply pointed features stare coldly at you. She wears jet black hair cut straight at the shoulders. Her clothes are functional and drab. Her cloak is fastened by a necklace of 5 canisters, each of different shape. She turns a black device over and over in her hands. Where did you come from? How did you know where to find me? Her startled expression becomes a dark glower. A keen blade flickers through her fingers. You're sure it wasn't there a moment ago? Watch yourself, lass. Oh, whoops, sorry. This is Tybo. How did I have Tybo speak? Watch yourself, lass. I've heard she's gone dull in the head, but that knife looks sharp enough to me. Mappa told me where to find you. Who? I don't know. Wait, him? Him? The tattooed freak who can't stop talking about every speck of dirt he's ever set foot on? But how did he get here? What did he see? She casts her eyes around the cave as if to assure her that nothing's missing. Her voice hardens. Maybe I need to hang a map or two around here. Improve the decor. She begins to pace, muttering to herself. Where was he? Cliff's Edge? Circus Minor? No, he was hiding. Looking for something down below. That's why he came looking for me. Her eyes flash, triumphant. He's in the underbelly, isn't he? It'll be short work. He's slow, doesn't use weapons well. Bit of a limp. Yes, just as soon as She sees you standing there. Her hand jerks, and the blade's there again, as if she'd forgotten you were here. She glances at your tattoo. How new are you? What were the circumstances of your birth? When did you happen? Let's go with, I was born as my body fell from an exploding moon. Ha! That bastard of a creator always finds a way to abandon us at the worst possible moment. Have you heard the stories of Tuck or Inafera yet? You should. What of them? She points at your chin at your companions. If you think you can overpower me with mortals, you're mistaken. I don't want to fight her. She whispers to you, her voice fairly audible. She's scaring me. What did you say? You're trespassing in my home, you know. Coming with a cast-off makes you more suspicious, not the other way around. Let's go with... Any friend of mine won't hurt you unless I tell them to. Don't give me a reason, or... Trust me, we mean no harm. I don't trust you, that's the problem. But fine. She flicks her hand and the knife disappears. Disemboweling you would be a waste of time for me anyway. She turns back to her workbench and picks up the device again, and she spits on the floor and scuffs it with her boot, all nervous energy. So what did you want from me? I'm investigating some murders in the underbelly. Someone said they thought it was your work. I've killed lots of people, lots. In the underbelly, though? I don't think so. Do you want someone killed? No, wait, I could tell you, but my mind won't let me. I don't remember if I were whole again. Why are you hiding down here? I'm not hiding! Her rage is quick, hot, and palpable, and something about it makes your vision dim for a moment. I'm strategizing, planning. Why would someone live voluntarily in a place like this? She gestures around her, and as her eyes break contact with you, her emotion leaks from her frame. This is where I stay. It's a bolt hole, always has been, for those who know where to find it. Even Chillers hid here, they say. What are you planning? Oh, were you part of my plan? You weren't. It's not your business. What can you tell me of the other cast-offs? Self-absorbed, treacherous, leave a trail of misery and suffering. Shall I continue? Also powerful, scheming, ambitious. Her smile's crooked and quick. But you want names, don't you? She barks a laugh that's half a sob. Huh, you won't get them from me, though. Not now. I remember Darius. I remember the first. I remember Tash. And I killed Tash for what he did to me, for the hole he cut in my memory. But that hole grew and grew and grew. And this is more than you need to know. They're bastards, all of them. I heard you might know who can repair a device I found in the reef, something called a resonance chamber. The resonance? A glint of understanding shines in her eyes. Ah, yes, of course he would have hidden it there. A crooked grin plays around the corner of her mouth and vanishes. I know who can help you, or did. It slips away. My mind has holes in it. Tash took a rusty scalpel to my thoughts, my memories. I can't. She trails off. She catches a hold of the table, and it seems to anchor her. Her eyes harden. No, you must do something for me. She caresses the black, jagged device, knobbed and protruding from the antenna. A sigil reminiscent of your tattoo is emblazoned on it. This is Tash's Marecaster. I want you to enter his mare and find out what you can about the Jark. I'm convinced that's the key. What's a Marecaster? Am I really the first one to say the word for you? Oh, you're in for a surprise, sweet sister. Every cast-off has one, just like every cast-off has this. She taps the tattoo on your head. No one knows what they're for. Adiris seems to think they were a product of the transfer process, just like us. She seems lost in thought for a moment. Wherever they come from, they can be used as a kind of temporal viewer. You relive the event in the life of a cast-off whose Marecaster it is. That event is called a mare. Can it be used to spy on other cast-offs? Not spy, more like seeing pictures of the past, like watching them from inside their minds at times when they burned or raged or changed, when their life was at a moment of flux. Why can't you enter the mare? Don't you think I've tried? She snarls with a sudden rage, her knife, her hands burned from your neck. Do you think I would waste my time with a newborn, a thief who steals into my home, if there were any chance I could do this myself? Her shoulders heave up and down with each angry breath. I try, but my mind fills with static, like I'm talking to a Murden, only it slashes and stabs and burns me and... Why am I angry? Did you... She straightens, flipping the knife back into her cloak. No, I'll be right. Just find the damn jack, and I'll tell you whatever you need to know. What is a jack? You don't know. I thought it was a common instrument. No, it might not be so much anymore. One of the curses of a long life. Fashions come and go before you even know they exist. Probably easier to just let them go or make new ones of your own, like some of the other cast-offs. No, sorry, no, not sorry. You should know this. You should know about things. History, that's what life's for, knowing and doing. Makina, you just need to focus. Tell her what she needs. She breathes deeply. A jack is an ancient woodwind, and this one was kept in a sealed cave behind massive doors from a prior world. It had powers, but I can't remember what those powers were. So how do I enter? Hold the Marecaster. You'll feel a tug immediately. Don't resist. Empty your mind and let the tides pull you into the Marecaster. Then just watch him. Watch for the jack. When you see what is done with it, pull your mind away from Tasha's and tell me what you saw. Oh, and don't try and change anything. Why shouldn't I? Nothing serious, she says, as though speaking to an overly concerned child. It's not like you can change the past. I need you to learn a specific piece of information. If you change something, things might go the wrong way. And if it's a key, what's it unlocking? If I knew that, I wouldn't need your help, would I? She lets out a long sigh. He stole that memory from me, alright? If you can find it for me, it'll all come back. All of it. Alright, let's do this thing. She plucks Tasha's Marecaster from the table. She looks at you, and back at the device. She licks her lips as if weighing her options, and then, before she can hesitate any more, she slaps it into your hands. It's surprisingly heavy. Do it, she says, her voice heavy. Find the jack. Bring me my answers. You focus on the device, and you feel something tugging at your mind. Ooh. So, this is the first time we encounter this, but in the original beta, we did actually have something else. We had a story as we attuned to the tides, which I assume we're going to get at some point, because I assume we will do a proper attunement later on. Everything's wrong. Tasha's body, yours now, clings like a wet cloak. The world is too bright for nighttime. Everything's too clear. Buzzers too close. Edges too sharp. Memory like blood flies. So, memories like blood flies buzz around your head, whizzing away before you can catch them. Hard-ridden and Neen heave their flanks and huff behind you. Like you, they've gone too long without rest. And there's Matkina, a much newer Matkina, as drawn by a pandering portraitist. Too soft, too fresh, too pretty, and all wrong. On the wastes you see the light of campfires, and in the humble village before you, a bigger, brighter fire burns. I assume this is a sketch and it'll be replaced by a newer piece of art. Unless this is a stylistic thing, but it looks really sketchy. It's a pyre. Inside, a body that's too large burns too slowly. Greasy coils of smoke rise into the night. Villagers circle a bonfire, wailing and shaking. The headman's rough voice continues the ritual. From exile you are released. Among the mourners some echo, you are released. He throws a handful of powder into the fire, metal salts perhaps, and a spray of shining embers into the night. Mostly gold, some green, some purple. From wrath you are released. They echo him. As the embers float out towards the plains and fade among the stars, you hear Matkina whisper, you are released. Stare at the distant campfires, trying to see what they are. The memories buzz, and in the sound of flickers of meaning, the body is, you are Tash. You're a soldier under the command of someone named Ranneko. You are a cast-off who can use the tides to destroy memories. You are sent here for something, an object, but what exactly, you can't recall. There's something more to it, something insistent, important, and endlessly elusive. No matter how hard you try, it becomes no clearer. Let us wait until the ritual is finished. Matkina answers without looking away. Her eyes are locked on the fire and the flesh inside it. It's what they do when one of the hill people dies. Never a burial, always upwards. Plains people like me, we can bring kindling and weep, but we're forbidden to join the chant. After a pause she adds, I never got used to the smell of it. Even when they burnt juniper or balsam, it's worst at the end. She shrugs. When it's done, there's no more wailing. For them, it really is a release. She looks thoughtful, but says no more. Wait until the ritual is finished. As the body burns, the mourners chant, and you wait as the shadows edge the village. At last, the corpse is consumed, and the headman gives a final cry. To the distant dark you are released. The villagers echo him, then drift away, leaving him alone beside the smouldering pyre. Matkina, with a hiss and gesture, leads you over. He sniffs the air at the sound of your approach, and with a broad smile calls out, Kina! His eyes are large, milky marbles. He puts hands on her shoulders. You return in unpleasant times. She touches his cheek. I return because the times were unpleasant, Nang. Without another word, the three of you leave the fire and enter Nang's dark hut. Ah, right. Yes, my hand has been transposed slightly. Neng's home is humble and small, hardly furnished and wholly undecorated. On entering, he lowers his weary bulk onto a hassock and gestures towards a similar pile, cushions for you and Matkina, then begins without preamble. They hung him from a tree, old Garib. Took their daggers to him, called it pruning. Blind to others' expressions, he's become oblivious to his own. He wears his pain and anger nakedly. They sent him home by skimmer along with the compact they made to the plains people. He waves at the crumpled sheet of paper on the floor. Tick read it to me. They promised to put an end to our menace, Kina. He shakes his head. Why? We've always paid the blood price for whatever harm we've done. You know that. They know that. Yes, Makina says softly. But the Sand Knights won't take shins. You know that. He grunts. The militia's here to help, Nang. You are who we stand for. The small, the threatened, the hunted. That's who we are too. She takes his hand. Come away. If you tell the knights you're going, they won't force a fight. They have bigger battles ahead of them, believe me. This is our place, Kina. Ranneko will give you a home. Trust her. Neng is silent. Let's read the crumpled note. You unfold the compact sent by the Sand Knights. The writing is neat, plain, small, and seems to go on and on in tightly stacked lines. In essence, it's a vow to safeguard the village and the towns of the Vexulian waste from the menace in Colne village. The Knights promise that they will undertake steps to assure the killers in Colne village never harm anyone again. Exterminations never mentioned, merely implied. Beneath the Knight Marshal's chop are signatures from various burghers, mayors, and elders of towns and villages on the wastes. The knights ask nothing in return from them. The signatures vow nothing. They merely endorse, justifying whatever the knights undertake. You don't need to trust Pudge, reckon. Trust Kina. Or... The world is full of places, Ning. This hill of yours is nothing special. Wow. Okay. So I can still use my companions for this? That seems strange, but sure. He heaves a heavy sigh. Maybe that's true, stranger. This hill, this world, it's no more than our home than anything else in this world. But we can't go. Makina answers, her voice soft but insistent. Neng, I know this is your home. It was my home too, but it's not safe here. Pudge reckon has set land aside for all of you, deep inside our territory, where we can protect you. It's not so simple, not so easy. Plains people cannot understand. Makina hisses in frustration and gives you a look. It seems she was hoping you can move the stubborn old form. So what do we do? Have you ever seen anywhere other than this village? It's not exactly paradise. No, Neng answers. No, it's not a paradise, and no, I've never left. As I said, it's not so simple. He scratches at his chin and seems about to say more, then checks himself. For a moment, he does speak, but it seems as if he's changed the subject. Years ago, a peddler passed through Colne village, selling moving pictures of cities he'd seen, the teeming harbour of Sagas Cliffs, the spires of Sakal, the glittering oasis of Mrazrallah. But among all the places, there's none that would be home. But you're surely right, they're no worse than these rocks. What is it we can't understand? For a long moment, Neng turns his blind gaze back and forth between you and Makina. What it means to be a hill person, he says at last. What it's like to wrap yourself in chains every day, he sighs. Maybe I'm an old fool. You're not the Kina who left you, and you, stranger. He trails off. You're soldiers. Maybe you've started to understand what it's like to hold yourself back. But Kina's answer is stark. Neng, all my life I've had to restrain myself, but not in the militia. It's freedom, Neng. The freedom of knowing what you're doing is right, so you don't need to hold back. The old man shrugs. That's right, you can't understand. Okay, so... Only time it's too late to start a new life is when you're dead. Give your people a chance to survive. Just have the same guy do it. Well. Neng nods slowly. You're right, of course, but even if you got the manners of a martyred marauder. After a minute, he turns his blind eyes to Makina. We can't go without the jack. The what? Up the hill, behind the gate. The cave's been sealed up for generations. Inside is the jack. It's what helps us keep our worst insects inside. If we leave its song, he trails off, gesturing to the pyre outside. He sniffs the air and nods his head again. I'll tell you how to open the gate. He describes how each lock must be disarmed, repeating it until he's sure you both remember. Now, you alone of the plains people know how to open the gate. You work your way up to the terraced hillside, leaving Neng to make his case to his people. In the distance you see that the Sand Knights are on the move, riding hard towards Colne village. Neng will need to make his case to them too. When you arrive at the cave and its huge ancient gateway, Makina shakes her head. For years I wondered about this. She says, the hill people tell a fable that the first men and women came out here. They said the gate would only open when it was time for people to disappear. One way to stop the kids from poking around and disturbing the shark, I guess. Something she said stirs your mind, and your memories jingle like a wind chime. Let's try to dredge up that memory. I could use a bunch of effort, or I'm just gonna leave it, just gonna gamble. At once, a glaring light shines over your mission, as painful as it is revealing. You're not here to help Pudge Reckon save Colne village. You're to help Pudge destroy it. She knew the Teratomorphs. She knew about the Jark. More importantly, she knew the Sand Knights would come, knew about their compact. The plan isn't to take the village out of the Knight's way. In fact, it depends on the very battle Matkina promised would be averted. When the Knights arrive, Padge will destroy the Jacques, forcing the hill people into their feral state, unleashing them upon the Knights, weakening one of the malicious foes. And Padge is coming in person to see it all goes right. Open the gate. Minding the sequence shared by Neng, you disarm the ancient locks that have long kept the cavern sealed. The gate opens with a gasp. Without waiting, Matkina steps through. You follow. Inside, there's no cave tunnel. In fact, there's no stone at all. Rather, it's a smooth hallway made of greenish phosphorescent ceramic. Under its glow, you and Matkina take on the look of the unburied dead. There seems to be no side passages, no chambers, merely a single path that curls inward like you're in the shell of some great nautilus. From time to time, the walls are adorned with lifeless ciphers, arcane charts, even scorch marks as if from a struggle. They tell no tale for you to hear. As you reach the tunnel's end, there on a pedestal, you see before you what must be the Jacques, a kind of reed flute that plays an endless, formless song, at once almost too faint to hear and too haunting to bear. Whether the music is caused by the breeze blowing through the tunnel, or by the Jacques itself is possible to determine. The ceramic pedestal beneath it, alone of all the devices in the cave, still pulses with living energy. That energy causes the Jacques to float a fraction of an inch above the air. It doesn't rest on the pedestal so much as hang above it. So, says Matkina, here it is. Let's take a look at the Jacques and its pedestal. While the Jacques and the wistful wind-blown notes is what you came for, it's the pedestal that draws your attention first. Hidden within, some secret mechanism holds the Jacques aloft, untouched and motionless. What do you think this place is? Matkina shrugs. It could be anything. The other one who always says a person will try and go crazy, trying to understand the world. But the way she holds a little breath in at the end, as she ends the sentence, it's clear she can't stop there. Crazy or not, she wants a meaning to it. I think the hill people must have come from here, or maybe come through here? She shrugs again. We're not here to find answers. We're here to get that. She points at the Jacques. Oh, aren't you going to take it? Matkina shoots your look as sharp as her knives, and steps forward to the pedestal. She sizes it up for a moment, and a hand darts in to grab the Jacques. The grace and speed of the motion is uncanny, but not enough. The instant her hand passes over the pedestal, energy lances upward, convulsing her body. For a moment she is paralyzed, and so are you, by the sight of it. And then, her race racked with pain and determination, she forces herself free. She falls to the floor, smoking, groaning but alive, the Jacques still clutched in her blistering palm. Pushing herself to her feet, she mutters, "Thanks for the help, Tash." She gestures back the way you came. Let's go. They're waiting for you at the gate, a woman you immediately know to be Padge and her bodyguard, a half-dozen tattooed cast-offs with drab armor, mismatched weapon, and the languid readiness of predators. Past them, in the village below, you see the Sand Knights have arrived and are meeting with Neng and the villagers. Without warning, one of the bodyguards lowers his weapon at Matkina and fires, but she's already moving and takes a glancing blow, a knife in her hand as another glaive aims at a new device. Before Matkina can fling her blade, she's frozen, trapped in shimmering energy. Padge herself aims a tiny cipher at the Jacques. The others watch, paying you little mind. Let's go with attack them before they have a chance to hurt Matkina. Whoops, I pressed the wrong button. Press 2. I don't remember what that was. Scrambling at the hill, you catch Matkina's furious, impotent glare. As for Padge, she seems more bemused than angry at your flight. You're a small part of her schemes, and that part's done. From a vantage point below the boulders, you watch as Padge destroys the Jacques, and the village below explodes in chaos. Where once Neng and his people stood, there's now a writhing mass of tentacled things, which fall upon the Sand Knights. Caught off guard, a dozen knights instantly die. The others open fire. Inside the energy field, Matkina trembles helplessly. Padge nods, and the two bodyguards hurl her off the cliff into the chaos. Their work done, Padge and her band hurry off. Let's look for Matkina in the village below. You rush down the hillside, holding onto a mental image of where Makina fell. But now the village is filled with the sharp retort of Jezzails, the smoke of raging fires, and the din of screaming voices, some inhuman, some pitiably human indeed. Before you stagger through the smoke, a shape rises up before you, a nightmare of writhing, hooked tentacles. Around its radial mouth are a dozen of eyes, each milky, huge and white, and terribly familiar. Neighing, he seems to snuff the air, and then, whipping his tentacles away from you, disappears into the smoke. You press on, your lungs and eyes burning, until, almost unexpectedly, you find her. The energy field is gone, broken by the fall. Her body's twisted, part of her femur sticks out of her leg, and blood flows weakly from the wound. She's alive. You force the bone back into place and bind it as best you can. You're about to sling her over your shoulder when you hear this rasping click of a Jezzail being primed. The Sand Knight's hat and cloak are gone. He looks more like a terrified young man than a rawhide killer, but his weapon's steady, and the blood on his clothes isn't his own. He offers no words before firing. The shot is well aimed and pierces your heart. No, Tasha's heart. You're already sloughing off his body, a mind plunging back through the darkness. Okay. As your consciousness rises in the shadow of the mare, something clicks in your head. Something's changed deep inside you, but what? Makina stares at you, the shock painfully obvious on her face. What did you do? I remember Tash cutting me. I see the holes in my mind. I remember him forcing me to the ground, tearing out my history with his tides. But I have other memories now. They're real. He didn't do it. He died. He didn't violate me. He joined the first, but he did try, didn't he? She holds her head, shaking, her voice becoming thick. 2 strands of memory. This is pulling me apart. She looks up at you, tears streaming down her cheeks. No, it's pulling me back together. I remember now. The whole, it's almost gone. You changed reality. You changed it. She stands, drying her tears with her sleeves. I don't know if you meant to do that, but you've done more than your part of the deal. You asked about the resonance chamber? I know it. Mazov's the guy you want. He can fix anything. He might have even helped design the chamber you're talking about. Your best bet is to look for him in the cast-off sanctuary, Mielavest. Great, why can't I find Mielavest? Word of caution. They won't believe you in Mielavest. They'll treat you like they treat every new cast-off, as a pawn in the games with each other. Look out for that. She walks to a table and unrolls a map of the Sagas Protectorate. You're not going to find it by walking there. The entrance is a secret, known only to our kind here. She points to a spot on the map many kilometers to the northeast of Sagas Cliffs. The Valley of Dead Heroes. It's a hidden portal in the necropolis. Also, memorize this. She writes down the numbers 3431 on a slip of paper, holds it in front of your eyes for several seconds, and crumbles it in her hand. It's a code. It makes sense when you get to the necropolis. You'll need an airship to get to the valley. The ladder over there leads up to the caravanserai. You should be able to hire a ship without too much difficulty. Thank you, Makina, and farewell. Go on, show our brothers and sisters what you can do. Well, that's interesting. And in here is Father Teller, which, this small polished disc looks like a handheld mirror, but when a being looks into it, they see an image of their father, or species equivalent, looking back at them, mirroring their every move. When you hold it, though, all you see is your own face. I wonder what that means. Okay, and then that is down, I assume. Examine the tunnel. Remain in the Cave of Last Words. One tunnel leading in, countless last words are there. Yep. So we go up. Oh, and we've leveled. Ascend the ladder. Alrighty. So made it to the caravanserai. So I guess next time around we'll look into hiring a ship. I think that might actually finish off everything. I'm not really sure. So I guess we'll find out. But until then, have a great day. And I will see you next time. Bye. Thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, then you might be interested in watching one of my other videos. On the left should be the next video in the series, and on the right, whatever YouTube recommends. If you've been enjoying this, please remember, hit the like or subscribe button. It really helps me out. Thanks. Bye.